I let my friend live with me because she had nowhere else to go, but she turned into a complete demon and abused my cats. I kicked her out, and now she's telling everyone that she miscarried and how abusive I was. Posted by you/Butterfly Clover. I live in an apartment with 3 cats. My cats have their litter robot and cat wheel in the living room and a cat tree in my bedroom. In mid-November, Christine asked to crash on my couch as she was between leases and said she had nowhere else to go. She made no mention of other hardships or issues. She knew that I had 3 cats and that I usually work around 70 hours a week. During Christine's visit, she caused the cats to get sick by giving them milk and cream. I asked her not to feed the cats anything, and the next day, Christine threw out almost $70 worth of cat toys, tried to throw out the cat wheel because it didn't match the aesthetic of my living room, gave the cats milk, which led to diarrhea, and then refused them access to the litter robot, locking them in my bedroom. After 4 days of this, I had enough and demanded that she return the key and leave immediately. After she left, I discovered that she had ruined the cat tree as well. A week ago, Christine began posting photos of my cats on her social media, insinuating that they were hers. She mentioned that she had stayed with me and that I had kicked her out when she was in intense pain due to a miscarriage, so she had to move in with her parents, who live nearby. However, the one good thing is that apparently, my cats inspired her to get her own, who apparently look exactly like mine. If my cats were named Apple, Pencil, and Daisy, then hers are named Banana, Eraser, and Rose. I commented that these were my cats, and that I had only let her stay because she lied about having nowhere else to go. Since I'm high risk and we were in the middle of a pandemic, I wouldn't have let her stay otherwise. I also said that she had gotten herself kicked out by abusing my cats, then started listing expenses and damage costs, and asked when she could reimburse me for the damages that had occurred. She responded that the photos were of her cats, that she couldn't afford to pay me back, and that she was a responsible pet owner because she had done a week of research. I responded by linking my cat's Instagram and saying that a responsible pet owner is anyone but her. The next day, I got several threatening messages from her family about not believing Christine regarding the miscarriage or the cats. I responded that I was unaware of the miscarriage at the time and was only looking out for my cats. I also mentioned that I doubted the miscarriage had happened, as she had lifted and carried the heavy wheel and base down 2 flights of stairs. On top of that, she had gone out for the entire day and had been drinking coffee. The messages said that I'd better make sure my cats are safe because I'm a terrible pet owner in person for not helping Christine, and that apparently, I don't have any friends because I'm a crazy cat lady. Am I the jerk for prioritizing my cats over another human? I understand the upset, but only if she actually did have the miscarriage? Maybe she did, and I'm the jerk. Relevant comments. How did Up not know her friend was crazy? When she gave them cream, I asked her to stop feeding them, and I thought that was the issue. She was upset that I didn't call out of work for her, and I assumed it was because she wanted to spend time together since we were friends. I didn't know about the milk until the day she decided to throw things, remove the cat wheel, and I basically kicked her out the next day. I didn't find out about the miscarriage until last week when she started posting the photos. Christine has been questionable in the past, but it's always been little things, like saying she had salad for lunch when she actually had pizza. Perhaps I missed a bunch of red flags, but I also work a ton, essential jobs, and am not home for most of the day. To clarify, she stayed for a total of 3.5 days. On the 3rd day, she messed with the stuff. I let her stay the night but told her she needed to be out by 10 a.m. the next day. Commenter. I suggest maybe getting a restraining order, especially if you have those threats, show them to the police. She sounds crazy, and who knows what she may try to do. Ops response. I'm getting the locks changed tomorrow because I'm realizing that I have no idea if she made a copy of the key. Not sure what else I can do. Unfortunately, Christine has started at the same job as me but part-time, so the restraining order idea may be tricky. I'm worried the job will cause issues. They've had to cut a few people, and I'm nervous that they will let me go coincidentally if I get a restraining order. Commenter 2. This is not about prioritizing your cats over a human. This is about protecting yourself, as a human, and your cats from a psycho and her psycho family. Ops response. I feel terrible. She says that I'm not entitled to the knowledge that she was miscarrying when she was in my apartment. I agreed but added that miscarrying doesn't excuse her hurting my cats and messing with their stuff, which led to everyone saying that she's having a hard time and that they're annoying. I was like, then she didn't have to stay or keep giving them milk. Update 4 months later. Hey everyone, it's been a while, but here's my update lol. Unfortunately, the subreddit wouldn't let me post an update there, so I'm just posting it here. A day or so after I posted the original post, Christine and her boyfriend tried to break in with a crowbar and a hammer. Yikes. Fortunately, I had taken the night off work and was actually responding to Reddit comments when my neighbor texted me, asking if I knew there were people outside my window. I had no idea. The police were called, and Christine told them she had left her jacket in my apartment and was just trying to get it back. When I said there was no jacket there, she changed her story to me abusing the cats, but I think it's abundantly clear that my cats are not abused. Both Christine and her boyfriend were arrested, and I haven't seen Christine since. I was looking through some screenshots of Christine's social media and, to my horror, realized that some of the photos were taken after she moved out, and that I wasn't the one who took them. The cats had collars I had gotten them for the holiday season, my Christmas tree, which went up on December 6th, was visible in some of the photos, and so on. The next thing I did was go through the footage recorded on my pet cams while I was at work, and I wasn't surprised to find out that Christine had been letting herself into my apartment to take photos of my cats and eat my food. I submitted this as a follow-up to the police report I had made. Since then, my mental health has been on a rough ride. I did get the locks changed after the attempted break-in, but realizing that Christine had been in my apartment multiple times without me knowing really threw me off. Christine never showed up at work again, and there was some gossip that she had ended up in an in-person psychiatric care facility. I didn't know if she still had access to the schedule, so my paranoia got pretty bad. I was also uncomfortable working with Christine's friends as my co-workers, so I ended up putting in my 2-week notice in mid-January. I also decided I wanted to move, but it was really difficult finding a place that accepts 3 cats. My move was finalized in late February, and I was able to move in early March. I injured my wrist right before the move, so it took me 2 weeks longer to move, couldn't move too much at once, which definitely stretched my savings since I was paying rent for 2 apartments, plus 2 security deposits and such. But since then, I've been working and continuing therapy and outpatient psychiatric care. Maybe I'm a wuss, but it was definitely a little traumatizing to realize how close I got to things turning out differently. Recently, late March, Christine messaged me asking if we could talk. I was hesitant but eventually called her, and she apologized for scaring me and asked if we could still be friends. I said I didn't know because I no longer trust her, and she accepted that. We haven't talked since. Still no clue what prompted the crazy, but I don't want to know or have her around, because, in true crazy cat lady fashion, I only need my cats lol. Relevant comments. Commenter. I'm a little confused about the timeline. I thought you said you changed your locks after she tried to break in, but then you said you changed your locks before she tried to break in. Why would you change your locks if you didn't know she was going to try to break in? Ops response. I changed my locks before she tried breaking in. Prior to my changing the locks, she had made a copy of the apartment key I gave her and was still letting herself in while I was at work because she knew my schedule. Even though I had cameras, I didn't know she was coming in because she didn't really mess anything up, and I had turned off notifications on my cameras since my kitties are a rambunctious bunch, constantly triggering motion alerts. I changed the locks after realizing that some of the photos on her Instagram were taken after she had returned the key. I had begun decorating for Christmas and had given the babies new collars, which made me realize she was still letting herself in while I was at work. Prior to my changing the locks, I guess she wasn't technically breaking in since she had an unauthorized copy of the key, but it was a violation nonetheless. Comment update 4 years later. I was going through a lot at the time, and I genuinely thought I was a horrible person for prioritizing my kitties over a living human being or accusing her of lying or faking a miscarriage while she was living with me. Time has helped me realize that while I was a little crazy, she was a lot crazier, and I did the best I could with what I had. I'm glad that no one was hurt and that all I got from it was a crazy story. Looking back, I think she had those items for dramatic effect to threaten me. She did jam the crowbar against the door to try and pry it open. I blocked her and moved on, and she hasn't bothered us since. Things have gotten significantly better.